in a time in which everything seems to have been done already, K-pop companies have to try extra hard to come up with something original and unique when they debut a new group. MEOVV just debuted under the black label, and I have to say that this debut was one of the most generic we've had in years. Let's think about some debuts we've had in the past couple of years. MEOVV with their crazy lore, IVE with their top-notch music quality, New Jeans with their nostalgic sound and aesthetics, NMIXX with their way of switching up the beat in their songs, and Baby Monster with the huge emphasis on vocals and rapping. You can easily tell why people are paying attention to these groups. But if we take a look at MEOVV's debut, what exactly is setting these girls apart from literally every other girl group under the sun? Well, pretty much nothing, but let's talk about it. What makes me so mad is that MEOVV was on the right path to crafting such a unique concept for themselves, and this was thanks to the individual members' introductions as well as the MV teasers. Every little thing we saw seemed like a piece of the puzzle that, once put together, would reveal such a unique lore. We've seen cat references, also given by the name of the group and their logo. We've seen dinosaurs, cosmic elements, even Bigfoots. You'd think this debut was gonna shape up to become one of the most interesting yet, but nothing. All the hype that the teasers raised in us totally disappeared once we finally watched the music video. My question is, how are you gonna teaser bait us like this? How are you gonna use the most interesting parts of the lore for the teasers just to give us nothing in the MV? If anything, it should have been the other way around. And I get not going all out in terms of lore, since it would make sense to slowly unveil everything step by step with each comeback. But at least, make good use of the cat elements, since the whole branding of the group is centered around that. I feel like we all had crazy expectations, especially because most of these girls were already known pre-debut and the hype was a lot. There were so many people ready to tune in for this debut, but I'm not so sure there are gonna be that many that will tune in for their future comeback at this point. Now on to the song. I'm not gonna lie, it was catchy enough for me to replay it a couple of times. It's not bad, it's just that it feels like a B-side, or like a title track from a new group that cannot afford a good producer. But this is the black label we're talking about, and you'd expect Teddy to do better. I know people have complained about Baby Monster's musical direction too, and I get it that Baby Monster doesn't necessarily have the most unique songs, but at least they put a lot of focus on their super strong skills. In fact, you have crazy good rap parts with a catchy flow, and then you have breathtaking vocal parts that always leave you speechless. But we've seen nothing like this in MEOVV's debut. We've heard so little of the girls' vocals, but from the little we've heard you can tell they have pretty voices and they could do so much more with their singing. But there was no part of the song where the members could objectively showcase their vocal skills, which is a shame, especially because they are obviously gonna be compared to Baby Monster, which is one of the most vocally strong groups among rookies. So this whole thing of not giving the MEOVV members a chance to really sing just feels like setting them up. People are gonna compare, and of course Baby Monster is gonna overshadow them. Teddy sacrificed the vocals in favor of rap, which I could understand if these girls were outstanding rappers, but they are not. So what exactly was the plan? I guess we'll never know. Like I mentioned earlier, I cannot believe no element from the members' introductions made it into the MV. Then what was the point in spending so much budget on those introductions if the actual MV looks like a new company made it? It looks low budget as fuck if I have to be honest. I almost forgot these girls debuted under one of the richest companies out there. The Bigfoot scene we've seen in the teasers only appeared for a few seconds in the music video. And once again, what the hell was the point? This scene, despite how cool it was, cannot make up for the fact that everything else was so boring, especially because it only appeared at the end, almost as if the MV was already finished and the director was like, oh wait a second, let me just throw this in there cause why not? Like come on. I was so interested in seeing how the lore would play out, just for the music video to basically look like a performance video, and I'm not even someone who cares about lore, but if you're gonna raise my expectations and make me think the group is about to have one of the coolest concepts ever, then of course I'm gonna be pissed once I see my expectations not being met. I said this MV looked low budget, even though I'm sure a lot of money was spent on the outfits and the sets, but it doesn't matter how much money you spend if nothing looks unique. But not all hope is lost, at least you can only go up from here I guess. That's the only thing I can say. After all, this was just their debut and who knows what's gonna happen next. But still, so many people that tuned in and had high expectations are probably not even gonna bother checking out their future releases. In my opinion, they lost a big opportunity to gain a big fandom from the start. Imagine how many people would have been blown away if the song had been a little more original and if all the cool elements had not been wasted on the teasers. All in all, I don't want to be too dramatic though. This is just the beginning for them and I'm sure they can go places. The company just needs to know how to deal with them properly without wasting their potential and killing the hype. I really like to think they are only gonna go up from here and I hope I'm not wrong. With that being said, let me know your thoughts on this debut. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.